Hey guys, first of all, super excited to see you here. This is Atul from Team K1 Academy, and in this section, I'm going to talk about, or in this video, I'm going to talk about the day one question answers, all the questions that you had, and I'll give you the context if you're listening this first time. We had amazing session on a free 5 days boot camp. We just finished a day one and had tons and tons of questions and tons of feedback, excellent feedback. So that is what I'm going to cover. I've noted down all the questions. My team have shared me all the questions, and I'll pick up all the questions one by one. So the topic of this free 5 days bootcamp was or is mastering the DevOps and multi-cloud with a Docker and Kubernetes. How to build this in-demand skill for a high-paying job. In that, we are doing 5 days, and day one that we had was about the first topic was about day one was what, why, and how of DevOps and multi-cloud. We also looked at how to use ChatGPT in order to find jobs, prepare for CV, and interview questions. So that's all those questions I'm going to pick up here. So first of all, as I said at the start, is that thanks for wonderful hundreds and hundreds of you guys join. It was very interesting to see all of you guys here. And first up, and apologies, I couldn't take all the questions. I picked up some of the questions, but there were so many questions, and we wanted to wrap it up in a specific time. So probably big thank you for rating us 5 star, and also big overwhelming feedback on how much you love this session. So thank you very much for that. Now, I'll talk about these later, but first, quickly, I'll tell you about what we learned on that particular day, on day one. We looked at what, why, and how to DevOps, containers, and Kubernetes in multi-cloud. In multi-cloud, we were looking for AWS, Azure, Google. We also looked at how to use ChatGPT, and we gave you an exercise for you. And if you're not done, I would highly recommend you to do, even if you're not looking for a job, look and do those some ChatGPT exercises. I know the video was a little bit blurry on when we went live. There were some technical issues on the streaming system that we used to go live because we were going live at multiple places. We were going live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. So we'll sort out about that as well. So let me pick a one by one these questions. The first question I think I was getting was that, and I think I should have done an animation. Let me look into and see if I can animate this screen here. Give me 1 minute. I'm using multiple screens. So let me pick up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pick up these questions one by one. So first of all, the question was, will the session be recorded for later purpose? Yes, session was recorded. We went live. It will be there on YouTube for a couple of days, but after that, we're going to take it down. Make sure you watch it. We also have on a page, I think k1academy.com/bootcamp is the page. So I think if the quality was not good on YouTube, so we uploaded the good quality on our page, which is k1academy.com/bootcamp, and there'll be day one. You watch that. Next one was, yeah, I think we have already covered. We will get a study material. So answer is yes, you will get a study material. There'll be, I think on day one we did exercise. On day two, day three, we'll also be doing some exercises. We'll talk about that exercise as well. The next question was, I wanted to know about the course offering. And I think you're talking about how whatever you're learning on, this is a question from Rahul. So whatever you have learned over the next 5 days, how you take to the next level, we are going to talk about that on fifth day. So stay tuned, and there'll be something coming on fifth day as well. Omkar said to know, I think objective was to know about cloud computing, jobs, salary for freshers, and AWS versus Kubernetes, which one is better? So first of all, I gave a 30,000-foot view in terms of job or what kind of a salaries you can get. Best would be go and look at onto the job portal in your specific country, and you will have wide range of salaries. We gave you glimpse, maybe make sure you watch them again. Next question was about AWS versus Kubernetes, which one is better? In current world, you have to, in my view, you have to do both. You have to do cloud, and probably I would say recommend more than one cloud. And um, Kubernetes is a way to or platform to implement or where you can run your applications. It's a container orchestration tool. We are going to go deeper on day four about Kubernetes. And AWS, of course, is a cloud platform on which you can run infrastructure. So I think you have to do both in my view. Next one is um, Audited Slav is saying that he was joining from Canada, understanding of Kubernetes along with GCP and Azure. So for Kubernetes, we are going to go much deeper on day 4. Make sure you watch Kubernetes on day 4. GCP and Azure, we are going to cover briefly on in terms of we are going to go multi-cloud on day 5. So have a worth looking at multi-cloud as well. Okay, Malan Shok saying, please speak slow. Yeah, so I have a habit of speaking very fast. When I get excited, I speak a little bit quicker. So I'll take care of that in future. We'll go a little bit slow. Um, Saga was saying expecting multi-cloud knowledge. We are going to go day 5, extremely multi-cloud. I think we're preparing a demo. I'm bringing an expert. We are going to do AWS and Azure. Some applications running on both the sides, same application, and with their own functions, the data being replicated and across cloud. And then we are going to go to one app, we'll do something interesting on that. So you'll be seeing some demo on multi-cloud, which because of the time we'll be preparing all the demo, but we'll show you how you switch over from one cloud to another, how companies are doing that. Yeah. Next is Avinash is saying that uh, DevOps concept, which will be helpful for me as a Scrum Master. Absolutely. So I think on day 3, we are going to talk about all about DevOps. Day 3 is going to be very, very interesting. We'll took a look at things like Git, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Flow, and there'll be CI/CD pipeline as well. We're going to do a demo on, so make sure definitely worth checking on day 3. Now, if you want to know, if you're listening or watching this, and if you want to know the where to find all the details, so you'll be going into k1academy.com/bootcamp. That will have registered there on that, and that's when you will be getting all the links and all the when we go live on. I think we're going to go live on day 3. So you'll look into that. Next is Ross was saying from a sysadmin looking to transition to DevOps. Brilliant. Yes. Ultimately, everything is moving towards you're already working in development, DevOps lifestyle, definitely. Vinay is a Linux engineer, more interested to learn this technology. Believe this session will help me to understand more about cloud. Absolutely. I hope, Vinay, you got ton of value. And I think day 5, we are going to go deeper. I would highly recommend you, Vinay, to also look at day 3 and day 4, because being a system administrator, Linux engineer, everything is moving toward from a virtual or VM. Not everything, but a lot of things are moving from a virtualization to containerization. You will still need Linux engineers, but then you will transition more and more into containerization, managing container and Kubernetes as well. So worth looking at Kubernetes, Vinay, apart from cloud, do cloud and Kubernetes as well. Next is KM. I think efficiently looking for jobs. What exactly should we search in a role and how to apply accordingly? Great. So I think go back to day 1 recording again. That will be available on k1academy.com/bootcamp, the good quality one, and look for chat GPT prompts that I gave. And I think in the email also there is some prompts that I'm going to talk about that you'll be getting. So look at the prompts that you'll be getting on in the email that you must have received. So look at that point. Next is yeah. So what to search in job? So depending on if you're looking for cloud, just search word AWS. And in AWS, you'll be looking things like EC2, S3 buckets, maybe looking for databases, maybe looking for compute, storage, which is EBS, networking, VPC, and so on. This is just one example. If you tell me a specific job role, what you're trying to do, whether it's a system administrator, based on that, I can tell you what you need to look for. Again, maybe put it in the leave some comment or go to our. I'll tell you the community where you can ask more further questions as well, or come to day 3, 4, 5 as well. Great. Pradeep is from DevOps world, but had a lot of questions in my mind. Hope it gets cleared. Yes, for DevOps related queries, make sure you watch on day 3. We're going to talk about DevOps related queries definitely. Um, El Rey is from Mexico. Hope to understand about DevOps and Kubernetes. Yes, DevOps and Kubernetes do on day 3 and day 4. We are going to talk all about DevOps and Kubernetes as well, definitely. Um, Parag, again, DevOps concept. Srikanth is for middleware engineer, Oracle WebLogic admin, and I want to get good job as a DevOps engineer, already enroll in with K1 Academy. Brilliant. Srikanth, if you're already here, in DevOps, we are going to go all entire thoroughly in terms of Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Git, Jenkins, Python, make sure you do the perform the lab as well. And I come from WebLogic background myself, coming from I did a lot of work on Oracle middleware. So good to see you here. Abhinav was, will it be helpful for data analyst? Um, Indirectly, yes. So data analysis these days are going for like for example, if you're doing Power BI or Tableau, these things run on top of cloud, and everyone lot of things will be helpful. So make sure you watch, you understand that as well. Not just specific to data analyst, but how and where the data analysis is being done. That will be helpful. I hope that makes sense. Uh, Tunji is saying, I'm a complete novice. I have no idea about IT. I need help to DevOps, please. Absolutely, Tunji. Go and watch at day 3 about DevOps, and don't limit yourself to DevOps. Just also do cloud DevOps on cloud. So maybe day 3 and day 5 as well. And if you have to go deeper into the DevOps world, then make sure you look at containers and Kubernetes, which you are going to cover on day 4, sorry. I think next question was from M. Gulrage is how long each session is going to be. So each session is, I think we had day 1 on 90 minutes. I think day 2 on day 3 onwards, we are going to do a little bit more about probably around 2 hours session on an average 2 hours, maybe slightly less, slightly more, around 2 hours. I'm hoping, looking at the amount of content I need to cover. So 2 hours. Uh, Anil from India, working as a IT analyst, want to upskill in cloud. Brilliant. Anil, make sure you understand. Let me know any questions you have. Sion is from US, curious to learn cloud engineering without prior experience. Don't worry. Are quite simple and easy and to understand on cloud. Cloud is not a rocket science, and you'll get ton of value here. Okay, slides are blurred, are not good, and sincere apologies for on day 1. As I said, our streaming had some problems. Looks like, and we're working with our streaming partner to find out what we can do better. But the good quality, we also recorded. We were in GoToWebinar as well, GoToMeeting. So the recording should be available on k2academy.com/bootcamp. Watch them, please. Yeah, low resolution, that's something I've got it. Madhvi is saying, I'm having a 7 years gap, sorry, 7 years experience in testing and development, but have a gap of 6 years. What to start my or want to start or maybe what to start in my career in DevOps. So that's Madhvi, you're not alone. I see lots and lots of students in our academy who are with a gap. And I think gap we can fill, we can connect you with a couple of guys as well. But gap is as long as you have a knowledge uh, and you can say explain to what you have been doing now in last especially last 3 4 months, gap wouldn't be a problem. We have a lot of success stories of the guys who have done the gap, and I think I discussed about on day 1, but I'm going to discuss it today as well here today. So keep an eye on this. The people were, oh, I asked and asked what exactly you're looking for. So a lot of guys were saying cloud, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform. This Terraform hit as well. So I'm going to talk about Terraform on day 3 briefly. Kubernetes, CI/CD, Docker, Kubernetes. So thank you very much for this. Yeah, these are the topics we were looking for. So we were getting Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD, Terraform, cloud, AWS, Azure. People are asking about. There were a couple of about Madhu Maven. We are going to talk about briefly on Jenkins as well on day 3, DevOps. Ajay was saying, would this recording be available on YouTube? So recording on YouTube was not good. So head on to Ajay on k2academy.com/bootcamp. There'll be a day 1 recording, and we'll be uploading day 3, day 4 as well, like that. Okay. I think that's pretty much all about topics you wanted to understand, and I can see a lot of you guys have the same repeat questions. We're going to cover on day 3, we are going to cover DevOps. That will give a bigger picture. Day 4, we are going to cover we are going to cover on Kubernetes, and day 5, we are going to talk about multi-cloud. So keep an eye on that. Yeah. So this is what's talking about Madhvi. I think my team did good job. Meghna, she had a career gap as well, based in UK, and she was able to achieve. Make sure you focus on learning and being tell that what you do gap wouldn't be a problem. Just be transparent and say, I had a, I think for you, probably, I'm assuming you probably are for kids, they've grown up now, and you took a career break. It's quite common. So I think that shouldn't be a problem as long as you're transparent, but make sure you learn and do things before go to show them that, look, you've done these things and you know them. I'm going to give you a complete path on day 5. Make sure you watch that day 5. Or this is another one, Raz Lakshmi, about career gap. She was nervous as well, like you. I think this is Madhvi, pretty much like you. When she came initially, she was saying, "I have a career gap," and I told the same exact thing which I'm telling you right now. As long as you have a knowledge, companies don't mind. You be transparent. What was the reason, and give them a reason, and you pretty much have a very solid reason. So she was. Hope you remember, I had a break in my career. I had an in-person interview and was very confident in technical part, and she got a job eventually on this one as well. Yeah. Next question, I think Malek was asking, are we creating any cloud account by ourselves or are we creating together? I think you need to create yourself, but if you hit any problem, join the Facebook community. I think I've given the links as well. So there are two links to create an account. One is Azure account, which is k2academy.com/Azure Cloud 11. They are create because day three, I'm going to use these accounts to actually do the labs as well. Similarly, DevOps account, k2academy.com/Azure DOP01 is the account for Azure DevOps. These are two different accounts. Eventually, DevOps using DevOps, we are going to create some resources on Azure Cloud. Azure DevOps using Azure DevOps, we are going to create some resources on Azure Cloud with some Terraform. So that's something we're going to talk about. Uh, Vasudha was saying how to do the performance testing or engineering on this platform. So I think to be frank, I'm not sure I understood the question, Vasudha. So maybe you ask question again in our Facebook community. We'll talk about that as well. Yeah, so this is a cloud account I was thinking about. And I think briefly somewhere I saw some account. This was the Azure lab that we will be using. So I think there was some troubleshooting. Oh, I think I saw some comment about people were hitting some problem. And if I look at that issue, put it in our Facebook community, and I'll tell you if I think they were issue connecting with their DevOps account with Azure AD account. That's something I saw. I think this is a known issue in our DevOps in the and the program that we have a lab, and I think I should be able to dig that out lab and cover that. If I see a lot of guys are hitting the same problem, we might need to cover that separate video, just post in our Facebook community. So this is the demo that we are going to cover on day three. This is talking about, I think I briefly touch base. So we are going to create using Azure DevOps pipeline. We are going to create a resources here in which is nothing but a resource group, web app, and using Terraform. So Terraform will be invoked by Azure pipeline, and through this we are going to create these resources. And then Azure pipeline will then do a deployment using this ASP.NET application that we picked up. We are going to actually deploy it on this particular Azure resource group. That's what we're going to cover on day three. Also on day four, we are going to do some labs on we are going to go and very high, like basically we have already set up these labs because of the time constraint. So you're going to create an AWS account, and maybe I'll give you some homework for you to do and create those install a Ubuntu machine, and on top of that Ubuntu machine install the Docker so that you can perform some, and we'll give you some Docker commands you can initiate and kick in and start your containers as well, which is on day four. So AWS free account. For that reason, k2academy.com/AWS Cloud 11. Make sure you should, it's all free. You'll be able to get it. Now, Jaktishwar was asking about, please mention best website to buy Azure AZ-104 dumps. Usually I say that don't use dump just to clear the exam. Use dumps to learn and understand a particular topic. And I think inside the program that I'm going to talk about on day five, we have like dumps for all major clouds: AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle, and then DevOps and Kubernetes and it's as well, all those things. But what you need to do be looking at is when you understand a question, understand if you don't know anything, then make sure you understand all particular points that particular question is asking you. Understand the concept, understand the answers, and then try to answer. And if you don't know, go back and learn those particular topics. If you want to know more about this exam dumps and a lot of other things we're going to talk about on day five, you can join that waitlist by going to k2academy.com/waitlist to know about this sooner. Um, Now, Kamlesh is saying this all the tools mentioned are important for DevOps. Yes, I think on day three we're going to go deeper into all the tools. You don't need to learn all the tools, but you'll be working primarily two or three tools. For example, if you're a developer, you might be more doing Git and maybe Jenkins or CI/CD. If you are more on an ops side, if you're an administrator side, if you're a sysadmin side, you'll be doing more infrastructure and ops side. If you're working as a senior DevOps engineer, that probably might be overlooking both of them. If you're an architect, you might be doing slightly different things as well. So, but yeah, make sure you at least have a basic understanding of all the tools which are going to cover about day three should be more than enough for you to understand what all tools you should be knowing. Don't need to know all of them. And by the way, one question keep coming back is, do I need to be a coder or programming? No, you don't need a coding or programming knowledge for DevOps. There's some things which I'll cover. It's good to have, but it's not mandatory. I never had programming background, or I did some programming back in school and college, university, but then I don't like programming. I don't do the coding, but I've done a lot of DevOps projects as well. Yeah. So that's pretty much about this, which we'll be talking about exam dumps, and other things, which how you can get hold of all those on day five. Okay. I think will this be only on Azure? So I think day three labs are going to be in Azure. Day four labs we are going to do it on AWS. You can do it on any cloud. Day four labs, Kubernetes and Kubernetes one. But I think but we are going to do it on AWS. We've built our Linux machines on AWS for day four. Yeah. Day five, we are going to look at both Azure and AWS, because day five we have some application deployed on AWS, some application deployed on Azure, same application, and then we are doing multi-cloud, and then we are going and failing over from one account, assuming Azure is no more, and then we go to switch automatically to AWS and vice versa. I think there is one of them. Brilliant. Um, I think this was, can you show how to deploy to on-prem as well as not just Azure DevOps? So I think I don't have on-prem. Mimicking on-prem is difficult. Whatever you're doing in cloud, same you can mimic on on-prem as well. It's not a challenge. It's just I don't have a necessary infrastructure to show on on-prem. But same tools you can use for on-prem as well. That's not a challenge. I think, yeah. Mm, Typically, I think Kubernetes that we are going to do is actually can mimic exactly like what you do in on-premise. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't have a necessary infrastructure for that. Yeah. Next is I've created an Azure account and DevOps account, but was unable to connect to AD. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. So we're going to discuss, you can discuss it on our Facebook community, which is k2academy.com/bootcamp FB. Join there. And if you look at this, I think guide, troubleshooting section is probably, I might be sharing this guide. I need to figure out where this guide is, and I might create, if I see enough demand, let me know. When you do the lab on day three, if you hit any problem, let me know. And I should be able to share and record a video if you're hitting a problem about integrating Azure AD with DevOps account. That usually happens if you don't do a particular task properly. I think that's mentioned in the guide as well. Let me know if you need any other help on this. And I'm going to put that on YouTube, this video. So you can leave a comment there as well, please. Oh, can we get the recording of live session? I've already covered that. It will be available on k2academy.com/bootcamp. And but only for limited time, guys. Make sure you watch them and do share with your friends as well as Suvodeep on this one. I think that's I've covered. Um, Can you share the schedule, please? Yeah, so for schedule, go to k2academy.com/bootcamp. Which day is happening what? I think we have a day, I think schedule. Look at that schedule, k2academy.com/bootcamp. That is the schedule. Will this slide deck be shared with us, Kishore? Unfortunately, no. Slide deck is for our, we have a membership and a waiver program. It's only for them. So unfortunately, that won't be available for anyone. Yeah, I also mentioned about who this is for. A lot of guys are freshers and new to IT. Absolutely, we are keeping things high level because we know a lot of guys come. So we're going to keep it high level, but keeping freshers and new to IT as well. Also, we are going to go some topics and deep as well. So if you're already working, then you will get ton of value from that as well. So I asked who this is for and who you are. And a lot of guys came with Rahul was operations, machine learning engineer, Alex Linux admin, PeopleSoft administrator, support, developer. Ashwath was saying Oracle Apps Techno-Functional, Mohanjit. And if you're Oracle Apps Techno-Functional, I think look for Oracle Integration Cloud. Also maybe also for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure OCI, that will be Mohanjit will be useful for you. Sweet memories. You're from Oracle Apps DB. I am coming from that background. So I've done a lot of Oracle background as well. Yeah. BI developer. A BI developer, we are not specifically going to be directly specific to be helpful for that, but BI development, as I said, is now BI, especially if you're doing Power BI. or Oracle BI, those things are moving to cloud definitely. Again, these are different backgrounds. Data analyst, but hoping to upskill, great. Cloud, yes, absolutely. We were a lot of technical network administrator, all of them. You go in any IT field, DevOps will be useful. You will be basically you'll be somewhere or other you'll be hitting DevOps and cloud. Okay. Mrixa is saying, I'm stuck. Okay, yes, I'm stuck to learning because I'm a fresher, but don't know where to start. But I know a lot of technical terms and backend process of Oracle database. So I think Mrixa, in my view, rather than thinking too much about I don't know, remove that mindset that I don't know. You always start telling you saying that I can find out, I can figure out. I'm going to give you the complete roadmap on day 5. So make sure that you watch or attend day 5 for sure. I think we'll give you all the path as well. But remove that I'm a fresher. Everyone starts from zero. I started with zero back in like 2000, and then every time I start new, kind of a going back and I learn from scratch. So I think not an issue. Suraj is saying administration facility, IT, but want to transition. Brilliant. I think day 5 will be useful for you, Suraj, but make sure attend day 3, 4, 5, all of them. Sunil is saying your solution architect training and preparing for exam. I'm currently have cloud practitioner certification. Brilliant. Congratulations, Sunil. And let us know if you need any help on that. A lot of guys are already part of my program. Backend developer, Terry was saying initially, previously senior system admin, currently in career gap. So I think Terry, uh, is this by choice? You want to learn something? My view is you can learn while on the job as well. And system administrator, Kubernetes, virtualization, containerization, Kubernetes, DevOps is and cloud. Definitely look for that. Mm, Bhuvan Singh is saying working as a Windows and VM admin, VMware. So Bhuvan Singh, make sure that you know how to transition this VMware world to cloud and also containers and Kubernetes. Very helpful. That's what I did. I used to do a lot of server builds, databases, applications, and then I transitioned to cloud and containers and Kubernetes. Again, Mrixa from IT Oracle database, brilliant, same background. Sami, I was asking about, I think, where these guys are. Um, Quantity is saying good course for senior programmers. I think quantity, I think if you're a programmer, developers, things are moving towards microservices, containerization. So make sure you do CKAD, Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. That particular certification that will tell you how the applications that are being developed are using Kubernetes or cloud native based. So look at that absolutely um, as well. And of course, in cloud DevOps world as well, in DevOps and cloud. Uh, Raj was saying about, I think, head teacher in primary school, but want to convert myself to IT professional. Brilliant, yes. So you should be beginning in IT. Things are moving towards cloud. Maybe begin with cloud basics like cloud service model, deployment model, building servers, networks. Again, day 5, we are going to talk about that, the complete path. And I think we're going to begin with one cloud and add second cloud, and then at least go with two clouds in my view, Raj, but begin with one cloud. Um, Okay, Ali was saying this is interesting. As compared to developer, DevOps is way more stressful. Is it true? Not at all. It just like DevOps, first of all, I think you'll understand. Maybe make sure you attend the day 3. DevOps, you understand that what is DevOps? People have misconceptualized DevOps is nothing but the way team works in development operations working together. Within DevOps, you'll be playing some role in DevOps team. So everyone will be part of DevOps team and they'll be playing some role or other within DevOps team. But look at, and you'll not be doing, you don't need to do all of them. You'll be working one or two things within DevOps as well. Okay. I also asked about what are the myths and blockers that are keeping you stuck, and I mentioned about these 12. If you're not done, make sure that you post and go back to and tell me which one you're hitting because that was very interesting. And I repeat, and funny enough, I didn't expect, but then I repeat, I got a lot of gap in my career. That's one. There were a couple of bits, and I'll discuss one of them. So there were 3, which was I think about a gap in the career. There were 9, which was about too old and too young. I have that guys keeps telling me. I have number 6, which was or 8. I don't feel confident. I've covered that. I don't feel confident. Um, I've definitely gone through myself. Attending interviews, I've gone through number 6 myself. 5, some of these are myself have gone through. I'm not from IT background. Early in my career, I had that. I come from a mechanical engineering background. So a lot of these things are my own things, to be frank. So don't worry if you feel like that. And there's nothing wrong in being transparent and open, and that's how you start learning. So I was one of them earlier myself. A lot of these things, I'll probably not be able to. I'll pick some of these things. So I think a lot of guys said three. So Terry, Angeline, Madhvi, and who all are there? Rabindra, I think Rabin, and the number three are lots of three. Terry, uh, let's see who all are there. And I have lots and lots. I've not picked up all of them. So Meghna was with the career gap. I've already mentioned about her. Raj Lakshmi was without a gap, which I've already mentioned about that as well. So that's number one. I think number two, I also get a number two, which is I don't have a coding and programming language. This is something kept me stuck for a lot of time. I didn't do DevOps just thinking, oh, I needed DevOps. And this is coming from my own, I think was about, and I realized that a lot of guys have two. I think Kriti was saying, I don't have a development background. Alex was coding. I was one of them. Suvo, I think, let me see, Ola, Taivo, Sium, and I think Sunil and some of your names I'm not pronouncing correctly. And there are a lot of two Piyush, a lot of two there as well. I have one of them about coding, programming. So ask ChatGPT because I don't think, first of all, I give you permission that you don't need a coding and programming language knowledge in order to become and come into DevOps world or cloud or anything for that reason. And that's what kept me stuck for a couple of years. And after that, I realized, okay, you can live in this DevOps world without coding. So I asked this question on ChatGPT, and it's saying that when you're doing in DevOps world, and depending on what role you're playing, as I said, some understanding of scripting knowledge or basic programming language or concept can be beneficial. And that's what I took on board, and that I totally agree with that. You don't need to know them, but it'll help you if you know them. But there are a lot of other roles which are available within DevOps world, within cloud world, where you need zero coding, zero scripting, zero programming, and then later you can add those things as you move and do. That's what exactly what I did. So cloud operations engineers, DevOps support analyst role, cloud consultant, a release manager, sales engineer, technical writer, all those things are there, and then you are open to learn. And even if in coding, there are predefined, pre-written templates and codes are there. So for example, Bash, there are pre-written, there are common things that you want to automate. You can use them Bash, you can use them automate using Ansible, playbooks or Terraform, and how you can get hold of all of that, which I'll talk about on day 5 again. We have predefined templates of all the tasks that you might be doing, for example, in Ansible task for automation or Terraform task for automation. Those things I'm going to give you an opportunity on day 5 how you can get hold of all of them. So maybe a little bit of Bash, a little bit of Ansible, but you don't need to do it on day 1 as well. In interviews, how to prepare, how to talk about that, we'll talk about that as well later. So then, in fact, there's a config management on day 5. Uh, those who joined a waitlist, there's something interesting on that waitlist on day 5, which we'll be talking about on day 5. So config management, which is Ansible, there's something called as playbooks, and these playbooks you run, and these are very standard playbooks that are available. You can get hold of and you can begin, and with minor tweaks, you can work on them. For example, I'm saying this is a playbook. In host, where exactly this playbook needs to be run, I can give you the names of website or all the servers where I need to run these playbook. This mandatory, what basically user which I'm going to use and what all tasks I'm going to use. That becomes very, very simple and easy. And you can learn out all of them. You don't need to begin with them. Another thing which you should be doing, and people think, oh, I'm doing an infrastructure as a code. Do I need to be coder? And yes, having a coding knowledge will help, but it's not mandatory. A lot of times we get is I get predefined codes and I'm only tweaking them. So for example, I'm building a Kubernetes cluster. I have a Kubernetes cluster module, EKS module, or AKS module, or GKE module, predefined module written, which we'll be talking, which you can use to build that. And if you I think day 5, I'll say I'll give an opportunity to work with me and my team. We'll give you all these predefined templates and Terraform code that you can do a lot of advanced codes and project work you will be doing. So for example, this is a simple code which is available on HashiCorp website which builds Terraform. You can pick up them. So for example, AWS, I'm here creating AWS instance, which is nothing but EC2 machine. Very simple four line of code that you can do. So if you're interested to know more about that, as I said, join the waitlist, k2academy.com/waitlist. We'll talk about that on day 5 more as well. Now, another which comes is, hey, I don't have any experience, which is, I think, number one. And that again was, I had that when I was transitioning from Oracle security cloud to cloud, Oracle Apps DBA security to cloud, Oracle Cloud at that time. So I don't have any experience, and Piyush was one of them. Like he was just a college pass out as well. And another thing which people say is about how do I get experience? And this is a three-step process we always tell for our multi-cloud DevOps guys, or three things that you need. And that is where you have a project work, curated project work, which I'm going to go deeper into, very extensive project work I'm going to talk about on day 5. That you put in your CV as an experience. And that's how people say. I'm not saying don't fake or don't lie anything, but when you do those project work, these are real-time project work. Those project work will help you to put in your CV as an experiencing that you have done as a proof of concept. Again, very, very beneficial. That's how I did it. I got jobs. I tell it to other lot of other students of ours, they get a job as well. So we'll use that tip as well. So these are the curated project work which I'm going to talk about. I'll go deeper into day 5. What each of these are doing, you should be doing. We'll be talking about that. I'm not actually doing the project work, but I'm going to show you what all things you should be doing in each of these project work and how you can get hold of all these 10 project work and very extensive things which we'll be talking about on day 5. Of course, with also your help with the CV preparation, LinkedIn profile update, mock interviews, everything we'll talk about day 5 on that. Now, another one I get is, and this is again me as well, I don't have time. I was very, very busy. That's was number 12. On objections or common things, I don't have time. I was one of them as well because I was super busy. I was working with multiple contracts back in, I think, 2019 until date. Um, um, or 2019 was where I started working with 2017, 18 when I moved into cloud Kubernetes, sorry, multi-cloud and Kubernetes. I started getting a lot of projects, and that is where I think um, I was keeping my money or my charges same. So I think it grew to a point. I think I was doing 1100 or I think 1000 or between 1000 to 1200 pounds a day here in UK. And I said, oh, what can I do? Because I'm getting a lot of work, I'm busy. So I started increasing my rate further. So if you look at now, I work only with premium customers on time, but I charge very, very good amount. So you need to become, if you're spending too much time, if you're too busy, that means you need to look at your rate. Either you're not charging good enough, or you're spending time on wrong things. If for learning, I spend time. How do I find out time is again, Salesh, biggest challenge with family team is pretty senior, based in US. And that's where he started learning on his like at time what is suitable to you, and that's where the flexibility which we'll talk about on day 5. So make sure you identify time for yourself for learning. This is very, very important. You don't want to be a situation on midlife crisis like me, where on that particular point I kept stuck, and 2000 end of 2012 13 was very, or 13 14 was very, very nervous. I did cloud and DevOps. That's when I transitioned and I started increasing my salary in multi-cloud, and I started getting my time back now. I only work a couple of hours. Trust me, I fingers crossed. I feel some time. I come onto these now. I've built a team and they do it. But and we have grown exponentially now as well. That's how I get my time back, and that's what I would recommend to you as well. Not confident, doubts everyone goes through. Doubts and confidence comes when by doing it. The more you do, the better it becomes, and that is where I think this 10 project work which I was talking about, extensive curated project work, when you do them, that's when you become good at, or gain all the confidence as well. So action makes clarity, action brings confidence, action removes all the doubts. That's what I felt myself as well. And if you're not confident, it quite happens with everyone, so don't feel bad about it. Just being, that means you need a bit more action on that. A lot of guys come and say, I don't have a clarity on what I should be learning, in what manner should be learning. We'll be talking about on day 5. So make sure that you path and uh, problem what happens is people focus on wrong things. I always say 80-20 rule. 20% of effort comes with sorry, 80% of the result come from 20% effort. So identify the 20% and then you'll get 80% result. That's what the path I'm going to give you. Use that path. We can also even give you personalized path, which we'll talk about on day 5 again. Another one, number 4, non-technical, non-IT. And again, why I'm spending so much time is that once you have overcome these mindset challenges, learning becomes very, very easy. So not from IT background, non-technical, Irina, not from a technical background. She was she's in Romania, um, um, working with Oracle, working, and you can do different roles as we can become a customer success manager within cloud. You can become from a sales background. You can look at team management. You can become a project manager. You don't need to be technical, super technical. You need to have the basic understanding of those concepts which I'm going to talk about here. Now, where to start, what path we need to talk. We'll be talking, we'll go to deeper in day 5. And this is the project work we're just talking about. We'll go day 5 all about this. We're going to be very, very deep into each of these paths, what you should be doing, what I did. I'm going to tell you my story again, and how would I do differently, what I do, we'll be talking about that as well. So all these paths, which I think I might briefly touch base on day 3 or day 4 as well on that. Also, make sure you fill this form. Oh, by the way, I forgot. On day 2, we had lots and lots of feedback form guidance. So if you fill the guidance, don't fill it again. Just only once is enough. We have a huge queue. I'm answering as many as we can. I doubt if we can able to cover on all till day 5, all of them. But will be coming whatever I can, best of my capability on that I'm filling and submitting. And so if your number have not come, if my team have not reached out to you, sincere apologies for that. It'll take a little bit time on to come onto that point, one-to-one guidance point of view. But I'll be covering, my team will be covering and helping you. So this is, I asked a little bit about you, and that's, oh yeah, I think if you've already given the feedback on that form, don't fill it again, please. Yeah. I think, will you provide a CV template? So in the free bootcamp, I'm not, but on day 5, we have a program which I'm going to talk about on day 5. You can, in the templates, yes, you will be providing some CV templates in that. Best practices, I think Terry was saying, will you provide CV template for the best practices? So if you do decide to work with me and my team, you'll be getting those templates as well. Are you going to use Python? In the free class, we are not going to use the Python, but we have in the program that I'm going to we'll talk about later. There we have a dedicated section about Python, which will be targeted for data science, and there'll be also and data engineering background guys, AI machine learning Python for that as well. And Yemisi is saying AWS DevOps account and Azure account will create free trial account. That's right. You'll be creating a free trial account, both of them. Yes, correct. Next was about containers and Kubernetes. Oh yeah, this was about how a pre-sales get benefited. So if you're in a sales background, pre-sales background, your focus should be on how do you reduce your customers' cost. So cost billing, very, very familiar point of view. In pre-sales, why you're picking a particular technology. A lot of guys are in the program which are talking about sales and pre-sales background. You need to be good in terms of these terminologies that you're using, where the industry is moving. You should be able to give them direction as a part of pre-sales engineer to your customer from a technical side. So having this knowledge will be definitely helpful for you. Also, billing, how do you keep the cost down? But you should be in IT pre-sales or IT sales pre-sales as well. Yeah. Neera was asking about session available after. Yes, we already covered that. Um, Yemisi is saying, will the 5 day session will be available on YouTube? Yes, we are going to put it on YouTube. Download may not be download, but you can watch them. If the quality continue to, we are going to working with, as I said, our streaming provider to say what we can do to improve. They're yet to come back, but I'm going to upload once the session is over. Give us a couple of hours too, because that takes to process. Sometime we download the good quality one and then upload on our page kinonacademy.com/bootcamp. Joyce was saying, can we get a presentation slides? So presentation slide is only, as I said, is for the members only as well. Priti was saying you're going a bit fast. Can you please slow down? Yes, sorry for that. As I said, I know I sometimes I get excited and I speak a very fast. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try to be slow, but watch that recording. Maybe pause that, take notes, and then watch recording again. But make sure you watch them sooner because I'm going to take down in a couple of days. And people ask me why you're taking them down, why don't you leave it? The reason why it happens is if I leave them, people don't take action, people don't listen, people don't, they say I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. There's some guys who will take action and watch them immediately, but some guys need a bit push, and that push is we take them down because otherwise, if you're not done in 3 days, 4 days, you'll never find time, to be frank. So watch them, we'll take them before we take them down. Okay, I think Shodha, I think I don't know, I've not, but this name is being grayed out. We do it for, I think from not everyone wants to show their name, so that's why. But if you are, your question was containers and orchestration is on cloud or on-prem as well. So container and container orchestration, which is are both applicable for on-premise cloud. It's pretty much any cloud or on-premise. So it's not just for cloud; it's for on-premise as well. Uh, M. Gulraju, or I think was asking, please explain containers. I'll give you a 30,000-foot view overview about containers, but on day 4, we are going to go deeper into containers and Kubernetes. So containers, think of it as a kind of a contain. Okay, as name container says, everything, right? All the application code, all its dependencies, everything bundled into one. So you can pick this container and run it any platform, any place, as long as there's a container platform. So you can run it on AWS cloud, Azure cloud, Google cloud, any cloud or on-premise, anywhere, as long as you have that underlying platform, which is container platform, which could be Docker, which could be Containerd, which could be Rocket. A lot of them, we are going to look at all of them. That's what is container here in this context. So you can run your database as a container. You can run your web server as a container. You can run your entire application sitting on top of web server as a container and so on. We'll go deeper into day 4. Will be interesting for that. Okay, Anil is saying why we use Kubernetes rather than Docker Swarm. Very interesting question. The clustering was developed by Docker team itself. You will see that on day 4. I'll keep it surprise for you. We'll be covering exactly this question: why Kubernetes and why not Docker Swarm, or why not Mesos from open source from I think from Apache, or why not there are other things like OpenShift. We'll talk about that on day 4. So make sure you that's a surprise, Anil. Come on day 4. Um, Soda again, I think saying is, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but uh, uh, will we get any certification, participation, or certification? Apologies, no. There's no participation certification on this for this particular bootcamp. There's a uh, more in-depth certification again, which we will be talking on day 5, but not for this bootcamp free camp. No. Fresh again, presentation slide, as I said earlier, it's only for our program members or those who remember. Please dedicate one session for Kubernetes. Absolutely, Rashid. We've heard you. We have a dedication on Kubernetes on day 4. We're going to do containers and Kubernetes. We'll do a demo on Kubernetes cluster. We'll be moving applications up and down on day 4. Hands-on demo, Rashid. Okay, I think same slides. Olu was saying, a bit too fast for a newbie trying to get this field. Kindly slow down while explaining, please. Yeah, as I said, we have a mixed kind of audience. I think my session to you would be watch recording one more time, Olu. That will be helpful. Make notes and bring those questions on day 3 and day 4 and day 5 as well, please. Um, uh, Priyanka, I think I'm saying, if I'm not wrong, your name. Let the developer if Please let the developer if no need any homework. Yes. So make sure you watch your email. On email, I've given you the homework. There's a long email. We explain everything, but also homework, which is day 1 homework, which was ChatGPT using those prompts and trying and playing with that. Mohan is saying, Mohan, I think Mohan or some, yeah. I have submitted the CV for response, but failed to try submit my CV, trying to do it some errors. Please try again. Maybe you might have uploaded a big size, or maybe the format may not be correct. We have a huge queue. Like a lot of you guys were asking about day 2. So day 2 was 1-to-1. I didn't expect that many responses, to be frank. I'm overwhelmed. We have a long queue. My team is responding one by one, and I'm doubtful if we can complete all of them by day 5. So if you have not submitted it, it might be highly unlikely that may not be picked now within the boot camp. So we'll see what we can do about that as well, please. Um, Oh, by the way, so yeah, we my team is constantly reviewing and feeding back and answering them one-on-one to day two, which is one-to-one CV review. Okay, next one was about I think check DBA. I'm a DBA, so which area is okay for me? Focus on CK or DevOps? I think as an administrator, database administrator, I think you can begin with DevOps, but I did it is I did DevOps and I did Kubernetes as well. My session team would be pick multi-cloud, DevOps, and Kubernetes, all three of them. Eventually, you'll need all of them as well. So I think I'll pick DevOps, Kubernetes, and don't limit. I think go for cloud as well. These three, check. Yeah. Um, okay. I'm not sure which bonus session you're talking about. Sodha. So I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm butchering. It. Might be doing your name not correctly. Um, I think I'm guessing, is it only through chat we can communicate? No, we have a Facebook group as well. So my team is there. I think ketonacademy.com/bootcamp FB. I think it was somewhere. ketonacademy.com/bootcamp FB. Okay. Next one is, what is the job market in USA? Brilliant. I think I've did that job market. I think the question was asked prematurely. I think we have a slide on that. I'm going to discuss again as well. Huge, huge market in job USA. I like multi-cloud architecture. Thanks, Henry. Uh, this cool multi-cloud DevOps. Thank you very much for those who are talking about multi-cloud. So yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so this is a job I was talking about. In you search for DevOps in LinkedIn and look at country, United States. When I checked it, 85,000 jobs plus. In Europe, it was about 82,000. In India, 33,000 in India alone as well. For cloud, and I'm just talking about cloud, 260,000. In Europe, it was 184,000. India, 66,000. In terms of you look at salary, all the way from a 75,000 to or 56,000 to all the way to 253,000 in US salaries. UK, anything ranging from 35 to 130K salary. More common I see is like close to 80,000 for senior guys, 80,000 to 120,000. There are guys though, some guys on 150, 160, 170, that range as well. From India, anything from freshers going from 0 to 3 lakhs to all the way to 5 CR. There's one job here, I was surprised. I might pick that job if I can get an option, or I'm good right now. I'm happy here, what I'm doing right now, but this is pretty good, insane salaries as well in India as well. If you're looking for entry level jobs, again, go to Indeed. I think I've mentioned that image was blurred. I totally understand, but go and watch on day three now, sorry, day one on the ketonacademy.com/bootcamp. That is where you will have the good quality to search, and there's an experience level, and it pretty much have in all the job portals. So mid-level, entry level, no requirement as well. Feedback, I said thank you very much for the excellent feedback for you guys gave. Thank you very, very much. And these are the kind of things that made my day and inspire me to do more and more of them. So if in future, if you something, just say thank you, and I'll really appreciate my team inspired that my team gets a lot of they try to do more and more when see that. So thank you very much, Vik, Terry, MW, Sudha, Ramp, M, Raw. I won't be able to say all of them thank you individual, but I mean bottom of my heart that how important you have given me your probably 1 hour, 90 minute or 2 hours. In next few days, you'll be giving me 8, 10 hours. I want to make sure that every minute that you spend with me you get inspiration, you get take action. Most importantly, you take action and wish I could be a reason, or my team can be a reason, or K2 Academy can be a reason for your success. But that's what drives me as well. Um, think, yeah, thank you very, very much. I think, Terry, how to address gap, I mentioned to you as well. Make sure you do lots of projects and then put in your CV saying that this is what you were doing, this is what proof of concept you were building, and you wanted to take a break to learn all these things, and that's what you have done. Yeah. Will you have to a note to implement labs? Yeah, we will have that as well. Okay, IBM Cloud is also available. That's right, Mohan. There are a lot of other clouds as well. We picked up top four, which we see lots and lots of demand coming, Mohan, as well. As your job site is more focused on what job sites is more focused on DevOps? Let me move it here. Chichi was saying what job site is more focused on DevOps jobs. So I think I gave you Chichi on prompt on ChatGPT prompt, make sure that um, make sure you you look at the prompt and say, what are the DevOps job sites in whatever country you're from? Okay. Indeed is quite common. I've seen you can directly search on a LinkedIn, Monster is there. These are quite common. If you're in India, Naukri is there. In UK, JobServe is there. In Gulf, I think it's a Gulf Naukri or something like that as well. Yeah. Okay. Toto was saying no call for freshers in India. I think that means if you're not getting an interview calls, that means your CV is not good. You need to focus on your CV, and you might be sending one CV for all the jobs. You should be focusing specific to the job portal you're doing, for the job you're posting, and also show them what work you have done. If you're thinking the company will teach you, you are maybe on living in a different world now. You have to learn these things and then go an employer and say, look, I know these things. Even as a fresher, they will take and hire you. That's what Piyush did when he came to us initially. So we hired him, Piyush, because he already was doing in his university a lot of projects. We hired him, and then he moved, and then he moved to other companies as well. So um, another one was about Priyanka was saying I would request task list for the day. Yes, there's a task list. Email, I think I have that email template here somewhere given. Yeah, so I'll talk about that as well. So yes, um, task list is there. Resolution is low. Please share the prompt. I'll talk about prompt as well. Yes, prompt. How you get hold of those prompts, and ChatGPT recap session, ChatGPT link, prompts. I think people were asking about prompts, and you're looking for prompts. Check your email if you've registered. If you're not registered, make sure you should have registered k2academy.com/bootcamp. That all those who registered have received the email. If you have not, when you register, say, I didn't get that email, hit reply to that email. It should have come from contact@k2academy.com. I repeat, contact@k2academy.com with the subject line replay inside key takeaways. And my team have done whole analysis of that email, um, point by point. We've broken down. You can jump onto a specific section. So my team have done brilliant work. So thank you, my team. You've done broken down, and everything in manner. And you have to jump on a particular session. There's a timeline given. So make sure you open that email. In that, somewhere I said task to complete before day two. And there's a link about this document which talks about ChatGPT prompts. In that document, that's a Word document that has a ChatGPT link. Please don't request a read-write access, just a read access we have given on public on that link. So ChatGPT prompt. And thank you very much. Oh, this one question was Vandana was saying in USA, the employer will do background check and ask if we have really do these things. Absolutely. And I'm not asking you to fake anything or lie anything on your CV. Don't do that. You'll be always caught. Please, but the project work you've done, put them into CV as saying you've done proof of concept. You've done all these cloud providers on these, and you mentioned you've done on your own as well. And that is what an employer let them do the check and say, look, I'm the living proof. You asked me the things, I've done these things. I hope that makes sense, Vandana. Purple is saying AWS SA C03. Is it a must? And answer is no, it's not a must. It'll help in your CV, but it's not must. Love new ChatGPT. Thank you very much. ChatGPT, we got amazing feedback. So thank you very much for all those you're doing. And I think some guys are asking about time. I'm just wrapping it up. Short few more minutes, and then I'll tell you about day two and day three, day four, day five. Excellent tips from Shevas. Thank you very much. Oh, Shevas, it sounds too good to be true, but I'm keeping an open mind. Yes, things like sounds too good. Sometimes they go up. This for me, it's coming from a passion. I'm very passionate about these things. My initial 5 years were tough, but on that journey, I got a mentor, and he knows probably I've spoken to him multiple times, probably who I am. If you're that person, you know he still works with Oracle back in early days. I got a ton of value, um, and 2006 I started with helping others and on through blog, and that journey grew and grew and grew. The more I give, the more I get back. 10 times I've get back. I got an opportunity to write books, a book which I've written, very tough task, but then it was eventually got it very well received. I got a lot of project work. I still till get a lot of project work. A lot of you guys do take and want to work with me in future, with my team in future, and I get a lot of good vibe, good feedback back. So that's what is my way to return back what I've received and get it. Yeah. Chirag, thank you very much for the feedback. My name, thank you for the feedback. Kendrick, thank you for the feedback. Thank you everyone for this wonderful, as I said, I mean everyone who have given us feedback. Thank you very, very much. Learned new, very helpful ideas. Now's the real value we're getting here. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you very, very much. I think I've already mentioned this. Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, five for five, five, five star. Thank you very much. What is the schedule for next 4 days? I think day 2 was supposed to be one-on-one. I couldn't finish, but if I think, let me know, guys, if you want to see others' feedback. I might create a session and record a video like this and put it on and do it something. Yeah. Quality, yes, we'll work on. Sunil working on trying to doing my best. Trust me, I put in a lot of effort, and if quality is not good, that basically I'm working on improving. I'm trying to do my 100% best to improve that quality, please. But sometime streaming is not my hand. We use three tools in order to go stream. So I think one of them, I don't think it's from YouTube side, it's the streaming provider side. So thank you, and sorry for that. As I said, 5 star. Taiwo, thank you very much for rating 10 stars. Thank you, or more than 10 stars. Thank you very, very much. Uh, Muni Ratnam, I have a friend want to start the career. Bring her here, ketonacademy.com bootcamp. And guys, please share ketonacademy.com bootcamp with the team members. Um, Arokya is saying, can you suggest some topics need to be covered in next 2 day sessions? So I've covered that. Make sure you understand DevOps, Kubernetes, which are going to talk about that as well. Nimish is saying, how can we continue learning those topics offline post 5 days session? Would love to hear on this in a follow-up session. Yes, on day 5, we're going to talk about all about that, Nimish. So also, but a great value, Sion. Thank you very much. Nimesh is saying, 100% Atul, your experience can be felt during the high-level overview you gave. Big thank you, taking out valuable time means a lot to me. Messages like these means a lot to me as well. Appreciate. Thank you, Raja. Thank you very much. And yes, sir, so this is what we covered, or we said we're going to cover on. This is what we covered in day 1. Day 2 was supposed to be a one-to-one call, which I'm doing. I didn't realize how much effort it's going to take. My team is doing them, but we are slowly getting there. It's a long queue. So if you have not yet responded, apologies for that. I doubt if I can answer or we can cover everyone by day 5. So if you have not posted, if you expect some delays in simple terms, guys, sorry for that. What you're going to learn on day 3, which is all about DevOps, very, very interesting. We're going to create an account on Azure and DevOps, or you should be creating because we not have time because I have a lot to cover. But we're going to give a demo, CI/CD demo. And day 4, all about containers, Docker, and Kubernetes. All this demo we're going to look at as well. And then day 5 is all about multi-cloud. Very interesting. Very, very interesting multi-cloud, cloud migrations, apps. I don't think we'll be able to have a time for migration. So please ignore that. Migration will not be able to cover. I've just trying to outline, and if I include migration, probably might go another 1 hour. So I have to keep it probably around 2 hours time window. So migration may not be. I'll remove that as well. And but personalized roadmap and extensive hands-on lab and curated project work, which we'll be talking about. Also going to give you your next 6 months plan that you should be able to use to make your career this and take it to the next level as well. Yeah, so this is what we started, how to fast track your IT career trajectory and secure an impressive salary with DevOps, Kubernetes, multi-cloud without coding language. Even if you have tried an experience and try Udemy or YouTube that didn't deliver result. We'll talk all about that, 3 simple steps, which we'll be talking about on day 5. With that, this is Atul. Thank you very much for being part here. If you will still have any questions, ketonacademy.com/bootcamp FB. F for face and B for book. So Facebook community, ketonacademy.com/bootcamp FB, and we'll talk about on that. Can't wait to see you on day 3. We can ton a ton of value, and let me know. Just hit me up on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. Keton Academy. With that, Atul from Team Keton Academy. Take care and bye for now. Signing out, guys.